today. You look fabulously amazing, as always. If you don't know me yet, I'm Kiki from Candy Kiki Art, and sometimes I just pop in your YouTube videos to share my artistic life with you. Today I've got something really special and close to my heart, my favorite sketchbook tips. I love sketching. I sketch every day for about 5 years now, no matter how busy my days are. I feel so much joy and excitement knowing that I can fill blank pages with whatever comes to my mind. However, it's easy to feel stuck or frustrated when our sketches don't turn out the way that we want them to. I've been in the same position so many times before when I started drawing. The good news is that there are several simple things we can do to instantly improve our sketches. So take your sketchbook and your favorite pencil, make yourself a delicious tea or coffee, and let's start another artistic journey.
Simplify what you see. By breaking down complex forms into simpler shapes, we can create a strong foundation for our sketches. One of the biggest mistakes made by beginner artists is starting with details and constantly correcting mistakes made when adding new elements, especially in terms of placing them in the correct perspective. I always start with bigger shapes, especially when I want to fit more elements on the page. If you want to create a more interesting composition, you can even overlap some lines and make them connected. As you can see, I am constantly looking for rounder or more pointed shapes, using circles and triangles. This makes it easier for me to draw individual parts of the face correctly, without going into unnecessary detail. If you don't feel confident with facial anatomy, always start with guidelines to mark the center and lines of the eyes and nose. Paying attention to the proportions of our subject can help us avoid common mistakes, such as drawing eyes that are too big or a nose that isn't in the center. If you struggle with detailing the eyes too quickly, like me, try to simply sketch a black dot instead of thinking about their individual elements, such as the pupil, iris, etc. If you manage to maintain the right direction of gaze in the first quick sketch, the eyes will also look good in the final draft. When we don't have a developed sketching technique yet, we often waste too much time focusing on less important elements. I divide my session into 2 stages, messy and clean. I only move on to the second stage when I'm sure the sketch underneath is ready for the next step. Use your kneaded eraser to lighten your lines. It's kinda like using a layer with lowered opacity. The second stage is to apply stronger and thicker lines that will focus attention. So at this point we no longer have time to think about proportions or make constant changes. Working in stages will allow us to better organize our sketching sessions and leave us less frustrated. To vary the contrast, I use pencils of different shades, from 2B to even 9B. I make the last thick lines with a black colored pencil to make even a bigger statement. If I could, I would finish my sketch with a black hole. That's how much I love black lines. You know that feeling when you start sketching and suddenly it turns out that several hours have passed? There's nothing more wonderful than the feeling of being completely immersed in your sketchbook. And even though the process of moving a pencil across paper is incredibly relaxing, we can often forget about the purpose of our study. By setting time for a given sketch, we can practice line efficiency, which will have a great impact on our perception of the most important aspects of the reference. Drawing more lines doesn't equal a better sketch, quite the opposite. Studying the great masters, we can notice that with a few quick strokes of graphite, they were able to capture the dynamism of the body. Additionally, during more mindful sessions, write down your observations. This is something that has helped me so much in working on my mistakes. Since I started drawing in the anime style, my problem is often that the head or eyes are too big. Writing down our observations will allow us to better focus on our mistakes and correct them in the next sketches. Keep your notes close by. Read them every time you want to start another sketching session. keen to make mistakes on purpose. When we immediately want our sketches to look perfect, we tend to tense our body. For this reason, we won't be able to draw loose and flowy lines, which make our drawings interesting. When we stop being afraid of the mistakes, we give ourselves space to improve our skills. Just look at my first attempts at drawing portraits. If you never draw a weird-looking face, you will never draw the good-looking too. Have fun exploring new techniques and let your inner child guide you through new pages. When you feel overwhelmed by sketching and can't find the energy to do it, try challenging yourself in unusual ways. When I feel overwhelmed by constantly sketching portraits, even though it's my favorite subject, I change pencil to crayon, people to animals or plants, imitate other artists' techniques, or simply draw lines without much purpose. Make your time in your sketchbook time well spent. If you force yourself to do it, you will create a prison in which you will only criticize yourself because nothing looks the way you want it to. If you stress that someone will see your mistakes, hide your sketchbook deep in a drawer. Not every sketchbook has to be an open book. This one will be for your eyes only.
And that's it. These are my favorite tricks that have incredibly helped me changing my mindset about my sketchbook and creating a daily sketching routine without the pressure of creating a masterpiece every day. Always remember to have fun with your sketchbook and consider it to be your safe drawing space. I really hope this video helps you with your sketching sessions, and if you like it, don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and leave your suggestions for future videos in the comment section below. Stay creative, bye!